While walking to school in the cool morning air, Ryan noticed an old man. A bent waist, trembling hands, and a heavy flower basket that had rested on the ground. Some people in the crowd of passers-by were making fun of him. "Hey Baba. Flowers are not sold now, this is the era of social media." Some glanced pityingly, but moved on. Ryan stopped, and without saying anything he picked up the basket and walked away with the old man. But that same afternoon, something happened at school that Ryan never expected. He was expelled from the school for not paying his fees. And then, just 2 days later, early in the morning, 4 black cars pulled up in front of Ryan's house. Some people in suits came down and took the entire family with them, without noise, without questions, without answers. People stood there watching, and only one question kept echoing in someone's mind. After all, who was that old man? And why did Ryan have to pay such a heavy price for a small good deed? It was morning. Cold winds were blowing gently. The sounds of the milkman, the newspaper vendor and the children's school bus started echoing in the streets. Amidst this hustle and bustle, an old neighborhood was slowly awakening. And in the last house of a narrow street in the same locality, a boy wakes up from bed at the call of his mother. "Ryan's son. Get up, it's time for school." There was a little hurry in mother's voice, and also a little tiredness. Ryan rubbed his eyes and looked at the clock. It was 6:45 in the morning. He quickly got up, washed his hands and face at the tap, put a small tiffin of stale bread and potato curry in the bag and got ready wearing his school uniform. The conditions at home were not very good. Papa had lost his job last month, and Mother was somehow running the household by doing tailoring work. But these circumstances never affected Ryan's smile. He went to school with renewed vigor every day, helped his friends, and was at the forefront in serving the elderly. Everyone in the neighborhood knew Ryan. He is a sensitive child, he is a very good boy, he is as kind-hearted as his father. The people of the neighborhood often used to say such things. Ryan's school was about 2 kilometers away from home. He used to go on foot, but many people would ask for his help on the way, sometimes holding an old mother's bag, sometimes showing the way, and sometimes helping the younger ones cross the road. Ryan never refused. That day too, as he walked on his daily route, an old man appeared at a turn. He was standing carrying a big basket of flowers. The basket rested on the ground, and the man was sitting panting. Ryan looked at him. There were wrinkles on his face, his clothes were a little old, and there was a strange tiredness in his eyes, as if he had suffered a lot. Ryan stepped forward without thinking. "Hello, Grandpa. Can I help you?" The old man was a little startled. "Son. I was going to take these flowers to the market, but my hands are trembling. It seems I won't be able to do it today." Ryan smiled and said, "No problem, I'll take you. You just tell me where to go." Some people nearby saw this scene. Someone said laughingly, "Baba Ji, now the times of selling flowers are gone." Another praised, "Wow. What values this boy has, where do you find such kids these days?" But Ryan was not bothered by all this. He picked up the heavy basket of flowers and walked with the old man. The two continued talking on the way. The older man asked Ryan about his school, his parents, and his dreams. "I want to become a doctor, but Mom says I have to pay my school fees first," Ryan said, laughing. The old man just smiled. There was a twinkle in his eyes, but he didn't say anything. Reaching the market, Ryan placed the basket. The old man blessed him, and took out some money from his pocket and wanted to give it to him. "No, Grandpa, I didn't do it for the money," Ryan bowed his head. "Still, you have acted humanely, son," said the old man and slowly disappeared into the crowd. Ryan looked at the watch, 7:55. School started at 8 o'clock and it took him just 5 minutes to reach. He started running. But as soon as he reached the school gate, the watchman closed the door. "I am late again today, Master has forbidden late children from coming inside." Ryan pleaded a lot, but he was not allowed inside. After some time the principal came and said, "Ryan, notices were sent to your house thrice regarding fees." Neither any reply nor fees came. "We are helpless, son, you cannot come to school now." Ryan didn't say anything. The eyes got wet but the lips remained closed. He did not know that his one noble deed today would become the price of his studies. But who knew, the impact of that small help would be so profound that after 2 days the entire neighborhood would be shocked. The school gate had closed, and with it Ryan's hopes had gone silent for a few moments. On the other side of the gate, children were walking towards class laughing. Some were running, some were talking to friends, but Ryan was just standing, holding his bag tightly. His hands were trembling a little, his eyes were moist, but he was not crying. He wasn't as sad about being kicked out of school as he was about how he would tell his mom and dad. His problems were already no less. He slowly moved his steps towards the road. At first the few steps felt very heavy, as if each step was carrying a heavy burden. Then he walked a little faster, and then tired and sat down under a tree. He took out his poster, the one he had worked hard on all night. The poster was now slightly bent, with a little wet mud on the edges. But the picture was clear, a child teaching poor children, and below it was written, "A real school is one where everyone can learn, without money, without discrimination." Ryan looked at that paper and took a deep breath. "Maybe one day I will be able to build such a school," he thought to himself and stood up. He reached home without any noise and without any complaint. The house was as quiet as it was every day, but behind that quietness there was tension hidden. Mother was sitting in the kitchen cutting some old clothes. Perhaps some order had to be fulfilled. Papa was sitting in the veranda quietly trying to read an old newspaper, trying because he was actually turning the pages, but his eyes were somewhere else. Ryan opened the door slowly. Mother looked at me smilingly. "Son, have you come early today?" "Yes, Mother. Some special classes got cancelled today," she lied with a slight smile. Mother became suspicious, but did not say anything. She felt some pain in her son's tired eyes, but like Mother's, she also thought it better to remain silent. Ryan kept his bag in a corner and went straight to his room. The room was small, but his dream was big. On the wall hung some of his old drawings, trees, books, teachers, and small children. Looking out the window was the neighboring field where children used to play. Today he too was silent. Ryan went and sat near the window. A lot was going on inside, but on the outside his face was calm. He knew that if he told what happened today, his parents would get more upset. Father wanders here and there all day in search of a job, Mother stays awake all night sewing. Milk also came to the house every second day, and the gas tank was empty since last week. He thought, "If I keep quiet, maybe I can save something. Maybe Mom can sleep peacefully for a few more days. Maybe Dad will feel that his son is strong." And from that day on, Ryan didn't say anything to anyone. That evening, when Papa returned home, he was tired. There was a slight disappointment on his face, but he tried to smile as soon as he saw Ryan. "How was school, son?" he asked. Ryan said with a fake smile, "It was okay, Dad. I just got off early today." Papa nodded, but his eyes said something else, as if he didn't believe it. Still, he did not ask anything. Perhaps he also did not want more suffering to increase. For the next few days, Ryan would wake up every morning, get ready, grab his bag and leave the house. But now he did not go to school. He would sit in the nearby park, stand outside the library, go somewhere and watch children playing. One day he saw that old school books were scattered near a tea vendor. He collected those books and with her permission brought some books home. Now Ryan started studying himself, without school, without teacher, but with dreams. One night Mom said to Dad, "Don't you think Ryan is hiding something? He seems a bit quiet these days." Papa said, I have also noticed. Tomorrow I will follow him. We will have to find out where he goes. But before that, fate took a new turn. Next day in the afternoon there was noise in the streets of the locality. 4 black cars arrived, big, shiny, and stopped directly in front of Ryan's house. People gathered. Everyone started asking each other. Has a big man come? Is it any government matter? Father came out, mother followed him fearfully. And then that same old man got out of those vehicles, carrying a basket of flowers, whom Ryan had helped that day. So is there going to be an even bigger storm in their lives? That morning was like any other day. But perhaps the sky already knew that something different was going to happen today. There was a strange restlessness in the air outside the house, as if a big storm was about to come. Ryan's mother was baking rotis in the kitchen. Papa was looking for job advertisements in the newspaper. And Ryan, he was still sitting quietly, turning the pages of his old books. Suddenly there was a sound of vehicles outside, loud brakes, then someone knocked at the door. Dad, Dad, Dad. Papa ran towards the door. As soon as the door opened, there were 4 black cars parked in front, big, shiny SUVs. A few men came down, dressed in black suits, faces serious. One just said, "You all have to come with us." Now. Papa got scared. What happened? Have we done something wrong? One of them did not answer directly, just smiled and said, "There is a special invitation for you." Mom and Dad looked at each other. Didn't understand what to do. But the faces of those people were serious, and the glow of the vehicles parked behind them showed that this was not a common thing. Within minutes, Ryan's entire family was sitting in those cars. The cars started moving, but no one knew where they were going. The people of the neighborhood were shocked. Some people were watching from the balcony, some were standing on the road. Where did you take them? Who were these people? Did Ryan's dad get a job? Or is there a problem? Everyone had a question in their mind, but no one had the answer. On the other hand, the old man was still standing at the same place. Since the day Ryan had helped him, he would come to the same corner every day, with a basket of flowers, with the same hope that maybe today he would see Ryan again. But 2 days passed, Ryan did not come. Uneasiness started increasing in his mind. Is he sick? Or did something go wrong with him? The very next day he started towards the school whose name Ryan had told him. The main gate of the school was open. Children were running inside. Some were laughing, some were talking about homework. The old man walked slowly towards the office. He asked a woman sitting at the reception. "Daughter, a boy named Ryan used to study here? I met him. Haven't seen him for 2 days." The woman heard the name and checked something on the computer. Then he replied, "Yes, that child, he was expelled from school a few days ago. His family could not pay the fees. Now he does not study here." The old man remained silent for a few moments. His eyes became wet for a moment. Then he asked in a low voice, "Can you tell where his house is?" The woman hesitantly wrote the address on a paper and gave it to him. The old man started towards Ryan's house at that very moment. When he reached the locality, so there was a crowd gathered there. People were still talking about cars. "Hey! You are the same Baba, aren't you, whose flowers Ryan had taken with him?" Someone recognized him. The old man quickly asked, "Where's Ryan, son?" People told that 2 days ago 4 black vehicles came and took away Ryan's entire family without informing them anything. Now the old man became even more worried. A strange uneasiness started running in his mind, as if something was missing, as if injustice had been done to an innocent person. He started wondering, was it because of me that Ryan was expelled from school? Did his life change because of me? He needed to know where Ryan went, and why. But there was no answer. And then, The night started deepening. The old man returned to his home, which looked ordinary, but as soon as he walked in, closed the door, he was greeted by CCTV monitors, a laptop, and a large screen mounted on the walls. He was not an ordinary old man. He was a millionaire. A successful entrepreneur, who had decided to know the ground reality of the society by hiding his real identity. His name was Viraj Sen, a famous Indian industrialist who had recently sold everything he owned and started a new venture, finding poor and promising children, giving them education, and changing their lives. And Ryan. Ryan didn't just pick up a basket of flowers that day, he picked up a universe. Viraj Sen picked up his mobile and called his manager. "Where is Ryan's family right now?" "Sir, they are safe at your farmhouse. We have made all the arrangements." "Okay. And Ryan?" "He's a little nervous right now, but when you tell him you were that old man, he'll be happy." Viraj Sen took a deep breath. "Tell him tomorrow. And yes, give his father a good post in my company." "And Ryan?" "Keep a scholarship ready for him from my side, full education, till he becomes a doctor." And thus, the silence and kindness of an innocent person took him to places where perhaps he could not have reached even in his dreams. Helping someone for no reason at all can be one of the greatest rewards of life. Ryan was still unable to understand what was happening to him. Till one day he was sitting in his small room reading books. Today he was in a big farmhouse, where there was greenery, clean air, and peace all around. There was relief in Mother's tired eyes, and Father was smiling for the first time. But what was the reason for this change? Who had done all this? Ryan kept thinking, but no one told him anything. And then, the next morning, there was a soft knock on the door of Ryan's room. The same old man was standing in front, but today he had not come with a basket of flowers. There was a slight smile on her face, and a depth in her eyes that touched Ryan to the core. "Son," he said, "can I come in?" Ryan quickly stood up and respectfully invited them inside. Where were you?" "I was looking for you." The old man smiled and, sitting on a nearby chair, said, "Now is the time to tell the truth, Ryan." Ryan sat quietly and listened. "The me you met with the basket of flowers was not my true form. I am no ordinary flower seller, son." Then there was a question in Ryan's eyes. The old man continued. "My name is Viraj Senator. I am an industrialist. I have many companies, from technology to healthcare. But a few years ago, I thought I wanted to understand real humanity closer. By living in the world of money, I was getting away from the reality of humans. So I decided that I will hide my identity and go among the common people. I will see whether humanity is still alive in this society or not." Ryan was still stunned. He just asked softly, "And that day, when I helped you?" Viraj Sen nodded. "That day I saw a way out, not for me, but for you. When everyone else was laughing, you quietly came forward, helped me, took me to my destination without asking any questions, that too, when you were late for school. Then when I heard that you were thrown out of school for not paying your fees, my heart sank, son. A decision that changes your life." Viraj Sen paused for a while, then said, "That very day I decided that I will give you and your family the life you deserve. A life in which your dreams fly, your father gets respect and your mother gets peace." Ryan's eyes filled with tears. But he still could not say anything. As if his voice had stopped somewhere inside. Viraj Sen further said, "Your father will now work in a senior manager's position in my company, the same job he could have had earlier, but circumstances prevented him from getting the chance. And for you, you are admitted to school again, but this time, with a full scholarship. You will never have to worry about fees again. And not just school, but college and beyond, I am with you. Because your true kindness, your selfless help, changed me to the core, Ryan." After Viraj's son left, Ryan ran and hugged his mom and dad. There were tears in Mother's eyes, but now those tears were not of sadness, they were tears of relief. Papa said while caressing Ryan's head. You always said that kindness is the greatest power. Today your faith has won, son. Mother smiled. I have always been proud of you, but today you have given new hope to the whole house. When Ryan returned to school the next week, everyone was surprised. The same kid who had been thrown out for not paying his fees was now back, and with him came a glow, a confidence that no one had seen before. The teacher smiled at him and said, "Welcome back, Ryan." The children clapped. Some old friends ran up and hugged each other. Ryan went to class, took his old seat, and took out a new notebook. On the front page of that notebook he wrote, "I'm back to school, but now not just to study, but to learn and grow." On the other hand, Virajsan announced a new plan. Ryan's Scholarship Foundation, a foundation that will provide free education to hundreds of poor children every year, giving them a path to reach their dreams. He said at the press conference, "I learned from Ryan that true wealth lies not in money, but in the goodness of the heart." A new beginning. Ryan is never the same again. He had become more responsible, self-reliant and fearless than before. He had decided that along with his studies, he would now help other needy children, just as he had once done for that old man. He knew that his one act of kindness had changed a life, and now he wanted to be that same light for others. The story does not end here, because Ryan's life had now moved towards a new direction. His kindness has taken him to places where even a dreamer is afraid to even think. Sometimes help someone selflessly, because you never know, that moment might change whose future.